remembers the first time that they drove a car? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Who was totally confused and lost? Did anyone fail their driver's license test?
It's horrible.
Today, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, I'd like to tell you about the 4 steps to competency. It's a learning model that can be applied to any type of learning, whether it's driving a car, how to scare away black bears, or how to make a speech. The 4 steps are: 1, unconscious incompetence; 2, conscious incompetence; 3, conscious competence; and 4, unconscious competence. They're a mouthful. 1, unconscious incompetence. This stage is basically, I don't know what I don't know. So basically, when I was 1 year old, all I had to worry about was with Chiu. There was a chauffeur that would make sure that I got from point A to point B. I didn't know what a car was, and I didn't need to know what a car was. Didn't matter. Then I became a middle schooler. And at that point, I knew I wanted to go to my friend's house, and I wasn't going to walk when it was 120 degrees outside. I knew what a car was, and I also knew that I could not drive the car. This is step 2. This is conscious incompetence. I am consciously aware that I am incompetent at driving. This continues. In high school, I finally get my permit. And it's even one level further of being consciously incompetent. I'm sitting in my car for the first time, and I'm not really sure what those pedals are for. There's this mirror thing, I think it was in the textbook, but I'm not sure what that's going to be used for either. I'm totally incompetent at this point. After hours of traumatizing my parents in the car, I finally reached step 3, and that's conscious competence. At that point, I am consciously making decisions on how to drive. I know what the pedals are for, and I know in what angle I need to put my foot down on. If I'm making the right turn, I know how many turns I need to make, or how many turns are too many to make. At this point, I'm thinking about everything, so I'm conscious of it. I'm competent because I've learned from experience what works and what doesn't work. Finally, one day, hours and hours, hundreds of hours probably, I'm at stage 4, step 4. At step 4, I am unconsciously competent. That means I'm in the car, I'm on autopilot now. I'm thinking about what's on my to-do list, and I'm also thinking about what's the shortest way home with the least traffic. And I've also got my radio on, and I might be singing to it without your knowledge of it. That's stage 4. You might be wondering what this would look like for a Toastmaster. So at step 1, unconscious incompetence, this is like my first day in Toastmasters. I was not counting your ums. I didn't know that sound had a name. And I certainly did not know what my hands were doing. Thanks to the odd counters and the evaluators in the group, I came to step 2. At step 2, I am consciously incompetent. I now know how many filler words I used every meeting. Every time the click goes off, it's a reminder that I just used again. I'm consciously aware of what I don't know how to do. So eventually, after hours and hours of practice, and maybe 5 to 10 more speeches, I'll be at step 3, and that's conscious competence. At that point, I will consciously tell myself to put my hands by my side and not to move them unless I'm making a point. At that point, I will also consciously make the decision to look at everyone in the room, as well as think about how I'm going to have my notes, where am I going to place my notes, what am I going to present myself as. Finally, step 4. One day when I grow up, I want to be at step 4. At step 4, I will be making speeches at the Lizzie Award of Excellence. And I won't even have to think about it. I will stand up here, my hands will just listen and be by my side. I won't even have to think about it because it'll be a habit at that point. At that point, I also won't have to think about who I'm looking at. I won't have to make a reminder to look around the room. I won't have to catch myself making noises like that one, or At that point, after hours and hours of practice, I will finally be unconsciously competent. In other words, it will become a habit and second nature. In conclusion, there are 4 steps to competency. Step 1, unconscious incompetence. I don't know what I don't know. Step 2, conscious incompetence. I am now aware of what I do not know how to do. Step 3, conscious competence. I know what I'm doing. Step 4, unconscious competence. I know what I'm doing and I didn't even have to think about it. That's how good I am. It's important to remember it's not going to be a linear process. A lot of us will go between incompetence and competence and back and forth many times, maybe more times than we would like for it to happen. But it's important to remember that this is a journey. So we're all in a car. Make sure you buckle up for safety. Hold on to the steering wheel. It might be a bumpy ride. It might be a little bit scary at times or traumatizing. However, remember that at the end of the day, we're on a journey, and eventually we'll get to our final destination, and we'll be competent. Thank you.